Notice of this meeting was provided to the Cranford Chronicle, advertised on January 16, 2015. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public of the time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PO 1975. Everyone, please turn off the order. Vibrate your cell phones, please. I will deviate from the agenda this evening for a couple of minutes. Mr. Clint Dixon, our DPW Superintendent, is with us tonight. I'd like to hear from him. Clint?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for having me tonight. Just come to discuss some of the, I'm assuming some of the things we're doing in Public Works. Okay, well, things are moving along well. They're still moving in a forward direction, positive direction. Well, all the guys are still doing a great job, working really hard for the department, for the town. We've had some issues with some of the older equipment, had a lot of issues, as a matter of fact. We've been trying to keep our equipment up and running, but we've had some, with older stuff, we tend to have breakdowns and things happen. So we have had a lot of pieces of equipment out to be repaired. One of the things was our backup garbage truck, which was down. So what we had to do was we had to jockey things around so we could pick up, continue on with the LEAF program. With that, I got to give the guys credit because they have been, mind you, we pick up garbage in the morning and then we commence on with the LEAF program in the afternoon. So we have to make sure the trucks are emptied with the garbage in the morning. So the guys, whoever the drivers are, have been working through their lunch to make sure that they get the trucks dumped so when they come back after lunch and they start up with the LEAF program right away. We actually picked the truck up today. It was repaired, the backup truck, so we'll have that back, but they've been really jockeying with some of this equipment. I think we got everything decent now, it's not on wood, hope nothing else happens for the rest of the year. We had worked a little bit of overtime in the department to hang some of the Christmas decorations. It was my idea, being that we were a man down and whatnot, we decided that to make sure we got all the decorations up on all the poles and on the overpass up. They came in at 12 o'clock at night and they worked till 6:30 in the morning. And they were able to get all the Christmas decorations up, including the decorations on the overpass. It worked really well, and one of the reasons why I thought it was a good idea, and the committee, we had a discussion at the committee level, and the committee agreed, is for safety. When you're trying to put up decorations during the day, and cars are pulling up behind you and around the bucket truck, and because you have two different vehicles that have to do that, and it worked out really well. Like I said, in that time frame, they got every decoration up in town, on the poles and on the overpass. Also, another thing we're looking at in the department is to do some shared services with Fanwood with some of the equipment. Right now, I don't want to use the word, but for snow removal operations on our sidewalks, they use portable snow blowers, just walk behind snow blowers. I've got in Fanwood a couple pieces of equipment. One, they're Toro mowers, and we convert them over in the wintertime with cabs. They have full heated cabs on them, and we put snow plows on them. I was able to acquire a snow plow for free to use to put on one of the machines because I don't have enough to put on all three of my machines. So I found basically a free plow to use for the snow. We're going to set it up in Fanwood and we're going to bring it over to Garwood, and that'll be for the sidewalk crew to use. So it'll, not only will it be easier on the guys, but it'll speed up the process a lot more to get the sidewalks open in the borough. So, but like I said, the guys have been doing a great job. They're moving in a forward direction, and knock on wood, as long as we can keep the equipment together, we'll be okay.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you.
comment for the superintendent?
Yeah, actually, I do.
All right.
Clint, how wide is the blade on that plow that you're able to get?
It's a V plow. So it's as wide as the machine. I believe it's 4 foot wide.
Okay, all right, yeah, so that's better than the snow blowers that the guys have been using. They have to have 2 passes in order to try to equal what this is.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, that's good.
And they're added elements during the heat cab and.
All right, and I know that's been an item that's been coming up for finance over the past few years too. So this is
Right. And another thing, Fanwood will be here tomorrow. We have to clean some of the leaves up on the underpass. Our leaf machine is down, so Fanwood's gonna come over with their leaf machine and 2 guys, and we're gonna help the guys suck up all the leaves on the underpass tomorrow. So that'll be after lunch.
That's important. Any further comments?
Yeah, Clint, in terms of the equipment, do you see the need, or are you looking into the need for any capital purchases next year for equipment?
I will be putting together my 5-year capital plan soon. As soon, I'm sure,
Well, what was left to you last year's 5-year plan for this year? What was in it?
I have to look. I have to look and see. I believe there was a need there was talk about replacing another garbage truck. Because our garbage truck that is now our backup we're having a lot of issues with, and that's, we just spent some money to have it fixed. I don't see it being long for this world, to be quite honest with you, but, we'll make do with what we got and move on, and I'll put together a 5-year plan, and I gotta take a real good look at some of the other smaller stuff as well.
Yeah, so please do that, because as you know, some of that equipment is borrowed, is old, and, just try to make it even, 5 years ahead, so that we don't
Yep.
put everything in 1 year.
Right.
Thanks. And shared services sounds good. Appreciate all the effort that's going on to making that work. Thank you.
Councilman?
To help you out with,
So one question. How are we doing with hiring the new man?
I believe there's gonna be a discussion on that tonight.
Okay. Okay.
if I can. Clint, I can get you that capital list that has been requested the past few years. I can forward that over to you. It's just been a 3-year plan, but you can look at that since I have records from 2012 when I was first finance chair, so I'll make sure you get that.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll help.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank the men and of course yourself for a great job, and continue on as we go through the balance of this year and go into 2016.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Clint. Wish the man happy, Merry Christmas.
I will. And they express happy holidays to everybody as well.
Thank you. Okay, we'll continue on our regular business. Our engineer, Donald Borough.
I have nothing to report, Mayor.
Anyone, questions from Mr. Borough? Just a quick one, Don. As we keep talking about RVSA, I'm assuming the cardboard company doesn't process anything at this point in time?
I think they still process paper, but they don't make paper, they're just a handler, they bring it in, package it, and send it out.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, just wanted to make sure, because I have some questions on that. Okay. No questions, Mr. Goriello, we'll continue on. Mr. Bernard, your turn.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is just to fill you in on the affordable housing declaratory judgment action. We applied for and received an extension of the borough's temporary immunity. It's now been granted to April 1st of 2016, so the borough's immune from any builders remedy lawsuits through that date. The developer or proposed developer of the South Avenue project has intervened in the declaratory judgment so that they can, participate in the formulation of the plan. We've been directed to mediate a resolution between January 4th and February 26th, and then hopefully, it's actually going pretty well, so I'm hoping that we can formulate a plan that's acceptable to the court and the special master, and hopefully the various parties, including the Fair Share Housing Center and the intervenor, and hopefully we'll have a plan and approved and blessed by the court by, let's say, the spring. So that's actually going pretty well. That's all I have to report, Mayor.
Any members of council?
Sure. Mayor, I noticed in our packet, although I'm sure Council President Neerset could speak to this a lot better than I could, but it did say that the planning board recommends that the redevelopment area on North Avenue be amended to permit the installation of an outdoor cooler refrigeration unit and has adopted the attached resolution. As stated therein, governing body would have to amend that area if they are inclined to do so. So should we discuss that at this point in time? It says to direct questions to Mr. Renat if we have any.
I can do that. Does anybody know why the planning board why they didn't just apply to the planning board for a variance?
They did,
And what happened?
it was granted.
And why do they think they need to amend the plan?
I don't understand.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Okay,
so what then would you like me to do?
Be very frank with you, okay?
Because it's, the reason I ask this is it's not gonna take me 15 minutes to do that, because I first have to get the plan, which, which I'm sure the administrator will find for me, but, I then have to prepare a rather elaborate
Right.
ordinance amending the plan, which, in all candor, I think if they actually applied for it and were granted a variance, is wholly unnecessary.
I agree with you. I was not able to vote on that application, so I don't know exactly what happened in that meeting. But I too questioned if they granted the variance, why you have to amend the plan, so.
Even if they
If
didn't
you
grant it,
want-
why didn't they grant the variance? I mean,
Right.
why would you not just grant the variance instead of asking that the
Amend the
plan be amended? It's not a use variance,
Correct.
if we're to put in a use that's not permitted, then I could see coming to the governing body and asking for an amendment to the plan. But if it's just a bulk variance, there's no need for us to do that.
I agree, and I will, the sentence on here says governing body would have to amend the area if they are inclined to do so. I would indicate that the governing
When
body
you
is
do
not
that,
inclined
just
to do so.
indicate that the borough attorney doesn't
Right.
really see the need to amend the plan.
I will do
Keep
that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Should I respond
Sure.
to your memo?
Well, we have a meeting tomorrow night.
Right.
So I will let them know tomorrow night.
any further questions of our lawyer?
I guess, Bob, I even, I did read the letter from Kevin O'Brien, is that his name, attorney?
Walsh.
Walsh, thank you very much. I think there's an O'Brien in the firm. Anyway, regardless, I did appreciate the fact that they said that they did not see that Garwood was trying to get out of the requirement that we, were indeed trying. I'm also glad to hear today that we have an extension until April. But it seemed that the opening line, the opening paragraph in his letter, he spoke about what standards were to be used.
Mhm.
Were we actually applying the wrong standard? Because they said we were applying, if I remember correctly, that we hadn't satisfied the obligation in a couple of years, and that we're using those numbers instead of the round three numbers that came out.
Mhm.
And while they understood the municipalities needed additional time, since round three is God knows where, that the standards that we used, they didn't feel were appropriate. Do you recall?
I don't recall the language. I've seen so many fair share letters
Right.
that I've kind of lost track of which ones what they say. But the only thing I can tell you is that the judge and the special master wouldn't have recommended, and the judge wouldn't have granted an extension if they thought that we were pursuing the wrong path. So I think that we're moving along fine.
Okay. I was surprised that they didn't count all the units at the senior housing on Second, because they said that we couldn't guarantee that they would still be, that they would satisfy the requirement in 5 years. I did not understand that, because if they're a senior unit, they're a senior unit.
Yeah, well, I'm not really,
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay,
addressing,
okay.
in other words, their letter was not something that we needed to address.
Right.
My feeling is that the court pretty much disregarded it candidly.
Okay, well-
Because in granting the immunity, so, I mean, down the road, we'll have to talk to them. That's one of the purposes of the mediation, to discuss all of these issues. But we're proceeding along, I think, so far with the courts and the special master's blessing or approval or lack of disapproval at least, so I think we're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes?
I do have a question, but can we back up to Clint on something?
Are we done with are we finished with the list or not at this point? Councilman, go right ahead.
Clint, what's the value of that piece of equipment with the plow?
Probably about $45,000 in there. And that includes the lawnmower, the cab, the plow attachment.
I'm just remembering from some of the other items that, that was discussed in the past. Okay, all right, thank you.
Councilman Petrozelli, I definitely recall that number.
Yeah.
Surprised me because it's not the largest piece of equipment, but not the cheapest, so.
Okay. Anything further? Ms. Arian, you have the floor.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention something to council about our new recycling vendor. It so far, it seems to be going well. I haven't gotten any complaints. I don't know if anybody else did. But as far as the change in the day next year to Wednesdays, so I put it up, it's gonna go up on the marquee like towards the end of the month, and then on the schedule itself, I have it in red on the front and in bright colors on the back, and then also on the schedule itself. But I wanted to add, if council wanted to add one more component, which was right, like the day before I mail, or the day I mail the schedule, if you wanted to do a Nixle alert, that's if anybody signed up on that. Because a lot of people don't read what we mail them, and also, it's like, not everybody's on that Nixle thing, but maybe your neighbor is or something, and somebody will notice somebody else has put it out, maybe it'll prompt you to read it. I figure it's gonna be confusing the first week or two, and try to avoid people not putting their recycling out and calling us and saying, now, what am I gonna do with my recycling for 2 weeks? And so I would just want to know if it's okay if I ask the chief to help me with that, and he would send it out.
I think that's a great idea.
Sure.
Great idea. And Ms. Ariana, it'll be on the website as well?
I could put it up there on the notification section, but I'll be honest, I don't think anybody really knows our website. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to.
I hope over time it's more and more,
I
so.
just don't think it gets the hits I'd like it to get, but yeah, sure, I could put it right on.
Might as
the
well
outside
try though.
page, Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Ariana.
Okay,
I did receive one complaint recycling wise, but Mr. Dixon took care of it, so no problems. Seems like it's been doing okay.
Okay. Anything else? Not move on, any unfinished business for the council? Any new business? Just have a small report. I would personally like to thank Councilwoman Sarah Tedesco, Councilwoman Carol Carney, Mrs. Carol Lombardo, and Mr. and Mrs. Paul Tarantino for volunteering to decorate the Borough Hall Council chambers for the holiday season. Thank you all. I would also like you to note that the tree is primarily decorated in blue in honor of our police officer Tommy Howell, who passed away in the line of duty 20 years ago last month. I also like to remind everyone that the Mayor's Saturday will be held on Saturday, December 19th at 11 a.m. at Borough Hall. Councilman Petrozelli will be joining me to meet any resident who wishes to stop by and chat with us. That's all I have. Continue on. Oh, okay, comments and matters for discussion by members of council. Councilwoman Carney. Thank you. Councilman Martin. Thank you. Councilman Matthew.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Petrozelli.
I have nothing for discussion.
Thank you. Councilwoman Tedesco.
Mr. Patterson's nervous, he sees me getting my date. Only one item on here, and it's one of your favorite topics, freeholder meetings. So I just wanted to report that I attended the last 2 freeholder meetings. I attended the November 12th meeting with Councilman Petrozelli, which was actually a rather short meeting, and I also attended the meeting on December 3rd with Councilman Martin, so thank you both for joining me down in Elizabeth. The December 3rd meeting had quite a lengthy agenda. Although Garwood was not specifically mentioned in any of the freeholder resolutions, I have a couple highlights from that meeting. Importantly, it was reported that 20 of the 21 towns were included in the revision of the hazard mitigation plan. At first, when I heard 20 of 21 towns, I was of course concerned where Garwood stood, but there is nothing to worry about. Garwood is included in that plan revision, and after some brief research on the county website, I learned that Elizabeth was actually the municipality that was not included, and that's because it opted to maintain its own plan. This plan is for extraordinary emergencies, such as floods. Also at that meeting, a Garwood resident, I wonder who, spoke about the need for records management support from the county for municipalities such as ours, and I completely agree with that. So Ms. Ariane, I know that we've spoken about this a lot in the finance meetings over the past couple of years, It came up before the entire council at this year's budget meetings, the need for greater attention to records management here in the borough, and unfortunately, that does not come cheap either. Although we started to fund that a bit in this year's budget and some scanning was done, I think we really should look for the county to possibly do more for us. So I know we've talked about this, in the past, but Ms. Ariman, do you think it would be something that we could write a resolution to the county asking for more help, possibly with storage space, and if the rest of the council agrees, I think we should move forward to try to pass a resolution like that sooner than later, to let them know how important this is to us, and then also forward it to the other 20 towns to let them know what we would like, and hopefully they'll jump on board and ask the county for the same.
Okay, I can do that.
The rest of the council's okay with that?
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Anything else,
guys.
Councilwoman?
That's it, Mayor, thank you.
Council President Neerstead?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to extend thanks. Those who may remember, before Thanksgiving, I indicated that the borough was having, was the host to its first ever 5K run. And I want to thank the chief and the captain and the entire police force. I know the opponents of the race had approached Westview, had approached Cranford, and he did not accept the request as well, as nicely, as courteously, as helpfully as Garwood Police did. So I really want to thank the police department for everything they did that day to make that a success. It was their first time ever. It was a fundraiser for Ewing Sarcoma Research, and they raised over $8,000. And part of that came from Councilman-elect Joe Sarno, who participated. I thank him for running. And it was a great event at Unity Park. First time, I believe, in Garwood, and hopefully it'll be an annual. We'll go from there. Thank you. That's it, hard report, Mayor.
Okay. Hearing none. Public comments? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, sign in, state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Hearing and seeing none, we'll ask for an adjournment.
So moved.
Are you gonna
I
stand
know,
up?
there's a point set in the way.
No, I can see you very clearly, sir. Just step up, sign in, because your 3 minutes has started already.
Good evening, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, Council Bruce Patrick, but I will have it all signed right after I speak, but just follow up on the archives and the grant. I mean, the infrastructure grant was something new that they started last year.
That's correct.
With the leftover money from the Runnels sale, so possibly if you're doing a resolution, strongly suggest you use that money. So it's $1.5 million, I would assume they're gonna do $1.5 million next year also. That would go a long way for all the towns, so, and that's great. If you're coming up with a resolution for all that, you were there at the meeting too. It'd be a good bipartisan movement. Thank you very much. I'm glad Clint is here. Just an issue. A lot of people complain about the curb area having like large piles of ice and snow, and they can't shovel it. In the town, when the town's plowing it, somehow all.
They try to go curb to curb.
Yeah, is there somehow, you may not be aware of it, or maybe you're aware of it when 15 years ago, because nothing really changed. But anyway, the large accumulations of snow right around the corners of the blocks, where the sidewalk comes to the street. A lot of people have issues about trying to shovel that, because it was hard, caked.
Clint, even before you were Mr. Councilman, yes, last year that was a big issue, and I did discuss with the DPW superintendent at that time. What they did, Clint, was they actually packed the corners. They came down one side, came down the other side, and the bottom line was they then packed the corners. And I did discuss with them other ways of doing that, and it's a very good point, because we had a lot of residents complain that they would shovel out to, even if they went to the end of the, I always forget the red, handicap wall. Yeah, that's called, exactly, but even if they shovel to the end of that, they still have 4 or 5 feet of snow after that. And Bruce is absolutely correct, that was a big issue. How have you done that in Fanwood, and do you have recommendations for here?
Well, we push back every corner in Fanwood after the guys get done plowing. I know what you're talking about, it's a point that comes out. We go in Fanwood, we go around and we push back all the corners.
What do you mean by push back?
We push them back till they're as close to the curb as we can get that area.
Where is the snow pushed?
Well, we try to push it on either side of the handicap ramp.
Okay.
You're not always successful in a large snow to clear the handicap ramp, but we try to push it on both sides so it's not piled in the middle.
All right, yeah, they'll still shovel, it's just, it won't be this tall, it may be,
Right.
regular snowfall tall.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you do that in any community, you push the corners back and, you know, that means I think we could actually go around if we have to and pick some of the snow out of those crosswalk areas, you know, next day after the storm or whatnot, so.
All right, well, moving forward, you know, with Clint on
Look
board.
at that.
Yeah, I think it's a real good point. It was a big issue the past 2 years. Well, not so much last year, the year before, I think if I remember my snows.
Yeah, it
It's
was-
come up more than
It
once.
was a big issue. If you can mention to the guys this year, you know, hopefully we won't have any, well,
Yeah.
not total snow, but, you know, hopefully we won't have much.
In talking with other, you know, my counterpart in other municipalities, every municipality has the same problem. It's not just a Garwood issue or a Fairwood issue, I mean, it's countywide, I'm sure the county
Absolutely.
goes through the same issues.
Mhm.
All right, but you thought outside the box and were able to do something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on, every storm's different, keep that in mind. Not every storm's the same, so.
Hopefully this year we're not gonna have that much.
Yeah, no.
Okay, and also, Clint mentioned, about the mower cab plow device.
Mhm.
You're gonna leave it here in Garwood?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
For the winter months.
Yeah, that's, okay, that's great, that's great. Okay, and then just the last item is, it sounds like there's a garbage truck on the horizon, the backup garbage truck. You know, the way Clint's
It's
talking.
up to, his 5-year plan, it's up to the finance committee to talk about it.
All right, just for record, I remember Lou Petrozelli like spearheaded buying the last garbage truck, right?
No, that was actually John Lincoln.
John Lee.
So how long ago was that? At least, what, 6 years?
Yeah, he was head of finance then.
Right.
Yeah, what was the dollar, do you remember the dollar amount?
I want to say 300.
Yeah, 350, something like that.
No,
Not cheap.
they're not cheap, I thought they were 175. I think it was 175.
Oh, it's been a couple of years
For
since.
some, no.
Just to
actually,
give you-
the other truck.
To give you a little history on the truck I'm referring
Let
to,
me get a short
the
history.
body, the compactor unit of the truck is older than me. So,
Oh, that's right, it rolled down.
It's been on two different trucks, this is the third truck it's been on.
Go on the Packer, right?
Yeah, the old Volvo.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing and hearing none, I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Have any-
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor?
I,
Anyone opposed going right into the regular meeting?
no mayor.
Okay. Please stand for a moment of silence and salute to the flag. Adequate notice of this meeting is provided to the Cranford Chronicle, advertised January 16, 2015. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the municipal public bulletin board and filed in the office of the municipal clerk, informing the public the time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975, as asked in the past. Please silence your cell phones and shut them off. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Mayor Lombardo.
Here.
Councilman Carney. Here. Councilman Martin. Councilman Matthews.
Here.
Councilman Petrozelli.
Here.
Councilman Tedisco.
Here.
And Council President Mearstead.
Present.
Minutes, please, Ms. Ariano.
Regular meeting of the Mayor and Council held on November 24, 2015. Executive session of the Mayor and Council held on November 24, 2015. And workshop session of the Mayor and Council held on November 24, 2015.
Are there any corrections or changes? Hearing none, may I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes, Mayor.
Roll call, please.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Ariano, communications, please.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities Mayor's Advisory.
Receive and file.
NJDEP, press release concerning the Old World Christmas events at Alair State Park.
Received and filed. Council's standing committee reports and other reports. Councilwoman Carney. Council President Neerstead?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No. Oh, excuse me, we're gonna,
Yes.
no, we're
Oh,
gonna-
okay, yes.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
sorry.
On November 12th, 12 members of the police department conducted a crime awareness and prevention talk at the Point. The event is part of the department's community policing program and was well attended. Topics included how residents should react to various alarm activations and how the police and fire departments respond to alarms. In addition, we spoke about fraud, including phone and door-to-door scams, investment, solicitation, ID, theft, and home security. Residents of the Point were also encouraged to sign up for the department's Silver Alert program, as well as the UC First Alert and Nixle emergency notification systems to receive critical information during any emergency situation. The program was well received. Chief Underhill was informed today that Officer Andrew Horan will be leaving to accept a position in another town. His resignation will be effective December 31st, 2015. Officer Horan has personally thanked Chief Underhill for the opportunities afforded him while in our service, noting that his departure is strictly economic. On behalf of the rank and file of the police department, we wish him all the best.
Thank you. Any comment? I just have one. I personally received thank yous from the leadership of the Point and thanking the both chiefs for their presentations, and it was well accepted and well done. Thank you. Okay, carry on. Public Health Council President Neerstead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, I spoke at the last meeting about the fact that you had appointed a new member to the Board of Health, and I was hoping very much that they would be able to schedule a meeting this month and actually be able to adopt the ordinance that was proposed back in April. Unfortunately, the Board of Health members are unable to get a meeting that quorum can attend this month, so I'm very disappointed to say that ordinance will not be able to be adopted this year. I hope that it will be adopted at their first and second meeting of next year. And that's just my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none. Streets and Roads, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. Only one item or so, might be a little repetitive, but if you'll indulge me. So Mayor, the leaf season is winding down. Bagged or containerized leaves on the north side will be picked up for the remainder of this week. The south side pickup is complete as per the schedule. In addition to leaf pickup, the DPW has continued its regular duties of garbage pickup, maintenance of borough properties, white goods pickup, treating reoccurring sewer line problems, clearing debris from the tops of stormwater drainage inlets, and more. The Borough Hall parking lot and mulch beds were cleared of leaves and debris prior to the holiday tree lighting ceremony. The DPW also placed and picked up barricades for the 5K race 2 weekends ago. Holiday decorations were completely put up on the Center Street underpass and utility poles throughout the downtown prior to the Thanksgiving weekend, as I anticipated they would be in my report at the last council meeting. Repair work was done to the backup garbage truck in South Plainfield, which caused the borough to need to use regular garbage trucks to pick up leaves to ensure the pickup continued to be done. On another equipment matter, inspections and preventative maintenance have continued to be performed on all snow removal and de-icing equipment. Finally, I am pleased to announce that the installation of residential permit parking signs has begun per the passage of the ordinance. I want to thank the DPW for all their hard work on the various jobs I mentioned tonight. On tonight's consent agenda, the Streets and Roads Committee recommends resolutions 15-311 and 15-312, establishing the bulk waste pickup program for 2016. Due to a slightly larger cost to waste management for permits per their bid and an increase in the tipping fee, the committee recommends a fee of $90 per permit. This figure of $90 was actually rounded down from the estimated actual cost of $91.71 for 2016. We also agreed to continue to provide 2 pickup dates. One will follow the annual Borough yard sale and be set for the week of June 27th, and the fall would be set for the week of October 17th. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any comments on the report? If not, we'll Go on, Council President Neerstead, fire.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, 3 items. In the fire department's report for the month, there were 16 incidents, total man hours of 240 hours. Second is Sunday night, the fire department had their annual awards dinner. I'd like to mention the award recipients tonight. Jimmy Krupa and Mike Thorlson received 20-year awards. Rod Vanetta and Bobby Lawrence received awards for 45 years. And this one is pretty amazing. Fireman Pat DeFabio received an award for 65 years of service to the borough, which is a long time. He's only 72, so that was pretty good. It was, I mention every meeting, but they obviously volunteer firemen put in a lot of time, and it's all appreciated. So thank you for them. Finally, this Sunday, for those who are interested, the fire department will be assisting Santa and going around the borough. Be starting in the south side at noon and working their way around. So if you want to see Santa, be home on Sunday. That's it for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the fire report? Hearing none, Finance, Councilman Petrozelli.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee has asked the CFO to prepare an analysis of the budget, and to date, we are at 93% of the 2015 budget has been spent. Previous years, at this time, we were about 94, 95%. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none. Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Laws and License, Councilman Martin.
No report.
Thank you. Recreation, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. The Children's Ceramics activity held in October was a success with about 30 children attending. Ceramics for both children and adults will be on December 16th, with the children's taking place after school and the adults in the evening. The next meeting of the Recreation Commission will be next week on December 16th. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the recreation? I just wanted you to know I am soliciting another member for the committee, so hopefully by the next meeting, the name will be available.
Thank you.
Thank you. Committee on Aging, Councilwoman Carney.
No report.
Thank you. Library Mayor's Representative, Councilman Petrozelli.
No report, Mayor.
It's not even.
You went to the wrong meeting, I think. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
School Board Liaison, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Celebration of Public Events and Holiday Liaison, Council President Neerstead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very quickly, the committee just wants to thank everyone for volunteering their time this past year. It was a very successful year, from Easter straight through to last weekend's Christmas tree lighting, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's it for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments? Moving on, Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board Representative, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Administrative Review Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Historical Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No official report. Our next meeting is next week, this 15th.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Ariema, please read the officer's report.
Lindy Stefano, Zoning Code Enforcement Officer, monthly report, October 2015.
May I have a motion to accept officer's report as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now we come to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, sign and state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Sure, what's it?
You were 5.5 minutes the last time, sir.
All right. Okay, half a minute. Quick question, also not the same. Resolution 15-309, $10,000 to Matthew Giacobbe Esquire of Cleary, Giacobbe, Cleary, and Jacobs for legal counsel and other legal services related to contract negotiations for the Teamsters Local Number 11. $10,000? Is that like a normal cost?
That's a not to exceed,
Not
and
to exceed.
it was not even slightly that much for the PBS. I don't expect it to be anywhere near that. That's just going to have to amend the resolution, but no.
All right, why do you take 10
$150,000 an hour is not.
why do you have like 10,000 then?
Plus, in case it becomes something big, I don't have to amend the resolution.
Is it more than 5 million? No, okay. Okay,
Just
that's,
being cautious, thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Are there any resolutions anyone wants deleted from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please, Ms. Abraham.
Councilwoman Carney. Councilman Martin. Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Petrozelli.
Aye.
Councilman Tedisco.
Aye.
And Council President Mearson.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Abraham, please.
No, we need to go into executive session now. Yeah, I have to read this.
Please, okay.
Okay, resolution 315, closed session resolution authorizing executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters pertaining to client privilege relating to the above and in accordance with NJSA 10-412, closed session meeting open to public exclusion of public subject of matter. Whereas it's necessary for the mayor and council of Borough Guard to conduct an executive session close to public in order to discuss the above matter, now therefore be it resolved that the council of the Borough Guard hereby move to go into executive session according to the provision of the Open Public Meeting Act for the purpose of discussing the subject stated above, and be it further resolved that the matters discussed in the minutes of the closed session shall be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality no longer exists.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mayor?
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We also invite councilmen-elect, please join us in the back room.
That's just what we were figuring out there.
There may
There may be
or may not.
action. There may be action.